Hello everyone, it's Laffy Traffy. Chapter 1026 of One Piece is out officially now, so we're going to be talking about it a little bit more in depth. I did a reaction video. If you haven't seen that, feel free to go check it out. And if you haven't read the chapter, I suggest you do that as well because, oh man, there is a lot to talk about with this chapter, holy crap. If you're new to the channel, before we get into it, feel free to subscribe. We just surpassed 700 subscribers, so thank you everyone so much for that. That's awesome. We're on our way to 1,000. That's my goal. We'll see how it goes. I appreciate everyone. Make sure you comment below also your thoughts because I really enjoy seeing everyone's reactions and different theories about things going on in the chapter. And also leave a like if you've watched any of my other things or if you like this video that you're about to watch. All of that stuff. Also, check me out on Twitch and Twitter. I do my live reactions to the One Piece chapters on Twitch, so if you want to catch me live and talk about it live, then go follow me over there. I'll do them at 7 a.m. on Fridays when a chapter comes out. And I also stream other random stuff with friends, so yeah, it's just fun to come hang out and talk about One Piece. I'm always down to talk about One Piece no matter what I'm playing, because that's usually what me and my friends are talking about too, so... But now that that's all out of the way, let's talk about 1026. The official translation of the chapter is the pivotal clash. The other translations say Tenno-zan, the turning point, which is a Japanese mountain. I talked about that a little bit in my reaction, for there's author's notes for that about the historical meaning between Tenno-zan. This is Beppo, by the way, if you haven't met Beppo. He's here to talk about it too, even though he wasn't in this chapter. Law was, his Capitan was in here, so that's also a great thing. But anyway, so the official name of the chapter is the Pivotal Clash, but also that could mean turning point, because this was for sure a turning point in the war at Onigashima. Starting off, we have great scenes, really great scenes. You really feel the joy of the flower festival here as we're seeing everyone dancing, playing the drums, having a grand old time with the lanterns everywhere. The art is really great here, but we see Tenguyama here with Otoko, and he's worried about Tama, of course, because Tama kind of left without him really wanting her to, of course, because it was dangerous, but he couldn't do anything about it, so he's just hoping that she's okay. And in the background, we see that Onigashima is still ever so slowly but surely, creeping ever closer to the capital city. So we see the shadow in the dense clouds in the moonlight. So I thought this was where it was going to be, but I'm still waiting for people to actually see Onigashima coming because it's clearly not moving that fast, and I am anticipating mass chaos once Onigashima is actually seen to be coming towards them, because, I mean, I don't know if they would know that it would be dropped on the Flower Capital, but I feel like there's some strong people there, like Tenguyama, who might see what's happening here and try to get people out of there as fast as possible before Momo can stop it, which is confirmed that Momo's totally going to stop it later in this chapter, but we'll get there when we get there. So going up on the rooftop, the best place to be on the raid in my opinion, we see that a random beast pirate has the the Mary paper, however that works. I don't remember if we had an actual explanation to how that works, if it's a devil fruit or just some weird jutsu shit, but he has the paper on so that he is broadcasting basically everything that he's seeing to the rest of Onigashima, and we get some reaction shots for the rest of the people who are fighting down below to what he's saying. But he sees that Master Yamato is going against Kaido and that another dragon showed up, a pink one, and they are face to face. Two dragons face to face, Master Kaido, and a pirate riding a pink dragon. I wonder who it is. Oh, it's Straw Hat Luffy. Once again, a really awesome shot of Kaido and Momo with Luffy riding on Momo's horns. Oh, it's so great. We get a cute little flashback of Momo here saying, if only I could be a big great monster like Kaido, then maybe I'll actually be useful to people. And Yamato's kind of remembering him saying that, and here we are. He definitely got his wish. He is a monster now, and Kaido, because he's flexing, goes after Momo and does a bolt of breath as Momo's like, wait, and he kind of like manages to dodge it, which is pretty impressive for Momo, for him to be able to dodge it. He goes into like a little slinky form so that the Boro breath goes right through him and doesn't get hurt. I'm interested if Momo has the durability that Kaido's fruit has, because we see later on that Momo is actually able to bite into Kaido. We see the teeth go through the scales. So there's gotta be something, either maybe Momo's dragon teeth are just that sharp, or it's just that dragon versus dragon thing where they're on equal terms of durability. So Momo might have a defense increase for sure, being a dragon. Maybe not to the extent of Kaido, but I think for sure it's gonna help Momo out going up against Kaido for however long he's gonna be there. We see later that he's going to go after Onigashima and try and stop it, so I don't know how long he's actually going to be facing Momo, but I'm in no hurry to get him out of there, because the teamwork here where Luffy whispers to Momo, like, Momo, do me a favor real quick, go bite Kaido and just hold him there for a second. And then we get a really awesome callback to the first time that Luffy ever struck Kaido, was when he thought that his crew had died and went into a rage, and I remember reading that chapter vividly, like, wow, that was insane, ending the chapter with Luffy jumping up above Kaido and elephant gunning him down into the ground after everything that happened there. That was very early on, and it didn't end so well for him, so I feel, just a hunch, that this battle is definitely going to go a little differently for Kaido, so watch out. So Momo is still very scared, of course, of Kaido, and he's kind of having like a flashback of fear and everything that Kaido had done to him. He burned down the castle, basically killed his mother and father, did kill his father, indirectly killed his mother, and just everything that happened to Momo, all the tragedy that occurred for him was because of Kaido, so that holds him back for a moment, reliving that fear as a child, even though it wasn't that long ago, but it's also what makes him get the strength to fight back. And again, I am just loving Momonosuke's development here, physically transforming into something stronger while also going through that very, very hard mental development here of facing the monster that Kaido is and has been in Momo's tragedy of everything that's happened to him in the past few months. This is all, again, because of the time travel, this is all very, very fresh things that have happened. You know, this didn't happen years and years ago. Momo was still a kid in his head, and he's still facing these awful, awful things that happen to him, but he does manage to break through the fear, and he goes and he snatches onto Kaido, and you see right here, the teeth are really going in, and Kaido kind of freaks out. He lets out a roar of pain, so it's working. It's working. I mean, Momo doesn't need the super advanced armament or Conqueror's Haki thing because he's in dragon form, so that gives him, again, not only a boost of defense, but also, of course, a boost of offense. We do get earlier that Momo doesn't know how to do the Boru breath, the fire breath, so I don't know if that's just something that, because his devil fruit is artificial, that he can't do, or because everything's new to him, he barely knows how to fly, let alone do a giant blast breath. So that might just be because Momo is still new to his devil fruit, but I'm excited to see if this fight continues with Momo, if he ever does unlock that within this fight, because that'd be crazy to see the two Boru breaths go face to face, very similar to how we got Yamato and Kaido's hybrid forms, where Yamato did ice breath and of course Kaido did blast breath, and they kind of met in the middle. I just think that setup is really cool. So that'd be really cool if we get that with Momo and Kaido with the same attack, both fire, and we could see how far Momo's come once again, even though he's come so far. But yeah, it's really heartbreaking though to see everything that's going through Momo's head here as he's remembering all the things that Kaido did, and in his head as Kaido turns to him after he bit him, Momo's like, if it wasn't for you, then my mom and my dad and the country, it would be fine. You did all of this. And of course, Luffy timing is everything. Just as Momo is struggling, Luffy comes in and punches Kaido as he was distracted with Momo holding him in place. Just kind of smacks him to the ground. So we see that, and now we go below the floor. So we get that clash. We'll be coming back to it later in the chapter. But first we go down to the floor to see a lot of other people fighting. Apparently Jack in this form has been shown in a chapter beforehand. A lot of people were saying that. I don't remember that, so this is my reaction. This is my review of Jack being in this weird mammoth centaur form, which is really confusing because then at the end of the chapter, he's back in his normal hybrid form where he's, you know, bipedal, but he has the snout and the tusks. But here, he has his arms and he has the tusk, but he has his own head too. It's really confusing. I guess that's just a third form that he has of hybridness. I don't know, but he gets clapped. And so does PEROSPERO. So 10 out of 10 chapter. 10 out of 10 chapter. PEROSPERO is finally gone. Jack, I like Jack. You know, he's great. He's great. A lot of, you know, lack the doubt, whatever you want to call him. I enjoyed Jack. PEROSPERO though, couldn't give, nope. But I'm not gonna lie, I definitely had my worries when Inuarashi and Nekomamushi were both defeated here. Out of their Sulong form, with everything going on, I was definitely getting worried, especially with PEROSPERO. Oh man. Are you kidding me? Why is PEROSPERO so freaking annoying? Peroween. Speaking of Nekomamushi, but yeah, I was definitely getting worried when they were down for the count and the moon was gone, because like the aftermath of Sulong form is real. So if they're right there and they don't have Sulong form, like they really didn't have many options to fight back. But we'll come back to that in a second. You Thunder Bagua shit with your tail. What are you doing? So moving on, we go back to this random beast pirate. Also, I wanted to say that I really want to know what's on his back, because I tried to figure it out, but I really have no idea. So he has a weird bamboo cage thing with something that looks like a beehive in it, and then there's a Mary paper on it. And I've got nothing. I thought that maybe it was some type of video recording thing so that they could see what's going on, but there's nowhere for it to be displayed anywhere on the castle, so I don't think it's that. Is it just like another microphone? Let me know in the comments what you think that is, or if you know, if it's obvious to you. And we're halfway done the chapter at this point, where we get Luffy is giving an awesome bardic inspiration to Momo, who is still kind of scared, but Kaido is kind of knocked out behind them, and Luffy shouts out to Momo like, "Momo, you just bit a freaking Emperor of the Seas. What could possibly be scary to you anymore?" And Momo's just kind of caught off guard about this, but he's, you know, he takes it for what it is, and for Luffy supporting him and being there for him, having his back at all times from the moment that they had that connection at Zou. Man. Even back in Punk Hazard, they were getting along, but Zou is really where it was solidified that Luffy knew who Momo was and who he wanted to be for his country. So these moments like that, I'll never get enough of them, because Momo just kind of looks at him and he's like, nothing's gonna be scary, I'm not afraid anymore. And even Yamato is watching all this with a cute face. And I'm really excited for her to hop into the fight too, which we don't get this chapter, but hopefully next chapter maybe, because maybe if Momo leaves, Yamato will take the place. It'd be really awesome to get a 3v1, which is what I had been wanting. But Yamato right now is just kind of taking everything in and letting Momo do his thing and have his moment, which is great. And then the last panel on this page is Zoro and Sanji back to back, fighting off King and Queen respectively. But they're just standing back to back, and they're just kind of having a moment like, he said Momo, didn't he? And Zoro's like, yeah, you don't think that dragon was... And Sanji's like, nah, couldn't be. I feel like they should know. I feel like they should know that it's Momo. They thought about it for 5 seconds, considering he's called it Momo, and it's a pink dragon, but it's pretty shocking to see Momo in huge form, But still, it was a really funny panel, just kind of seeing where they are, fighting back to back, really cool little shot there, and they're like, you know, nah. So we go on to the next page where Luffy's looking so cool there, going up against Kaido, and he tells Momo not to worry about Kaido, and that he needs to go and save Onigashima. And this is all being broadcasted because of that Mary dude to the rest of Onigashima, everyone down below, so they're all hearing Luffy say this, like, Momo, you just bit an emperor! Which is pretty shocking for people to hear, that Momo's attacking Kaido in dragon form. Crazy stuff, but they hear Luffy exclaim that he is going to win. And everyone is cheering down below, they're all celebrating Luffy's return. Big Mom's still cocky as ever, you know, as, you know, she has a right to be, but she's just laughing like, Mama, you hear that? Man, he's a rambunctious little brat, isn't he? And again, the tease of a kid-in-law and Big Mom still not being a thing. I don't want the full fight, you know, I don't care if we don't get the finish of the fight, but I just want a nice half chapter, a few pages dedicated to how that fight is going, if it's going in their favor, if it's a stalemate, if something else is going to interfere with them. I just really want to know, because we still have Big Mom's kids, but I won't get into that. There's a lot of things that still need to happen with that, but once again, we get, this is 3 chapters in a row that we get a little bit of Big Mom kid-in-law, but nothing substantial enough. But Kid says, yeah, you better win, which is cool because Kid's always more antagonistic towards Luffy, so it's good that he's supporting him now. And then Law's just like, what has he been doing all this time? You know, they just heard kind of the narration of what happened, like Luffy got knocked down. Little does Law know that Luffy's just been hanging out on his sub with his crew the whole time, so that's pretty funny that Law's like, what has he been doing this whole time? Hanging out with your crew's been helping him, so that was cool. But we also get Tama, Nami, Speed, we don't see Usopp, but he's around there too, Frankie, and then everyone from Udon Prison and everything going on. Everyone's shouting and rooting for him as we cut back once more to the top of the roof, where now that Momo's not going to be fighting anymore, assumably, this is what this is implying, at least, now that Luffy says, Momo, don't worry about Kaido, I got this, and I'm gonna win. This might even mean that Yamato won't be fighting. Maybe Yamato might go help Momo in some way? I hope not. I hope Yamato fights with Luffy, because I think that's really cool, and I want to see that. Next Straw Hat, Yamato for Straw Hat, in case you were wondering my stance, Yamato for Straw Hat. But yeah, so now Kaido doesn't have to flex on his dragon form anymore now that Momo is gone and out of the picture. So he goes back to hybrid form, which is his strongest form, which is pretty cool. That he goes back to that to clash once more against Luffy, and he's saying, do you really think that there's even a single chance that you can beat me? And Luffy claps back with, as long as I'm alive, anything can happen. I have infinite chances. As long as I am here, I will keep fighting you. And they clash, they do the no touching thing again, which is, ooh. And then we go to the last page. The grand finale of them splitting the sky, which is just, what? I'll say that this is much sooner than I thought it was going to be. I thought maybe the whole splitting the sky thing was gonna come later, but here we freaking are with Luffy and Kaido clashing and the sky, the heavens part above them. And the coolest part about the whole dynamic of this chapter is that parting the clouds is a plot point. Goda makes it so now that Nekomamushi and Inuarashi get that last final boost. This is the 3rd time now that they are in Sulong form, and we don't get an extended fight about them. And I know there's a lot, the arc's going on long enough, I suppose, but we don't really ever get an extended fight with their Sulong forms. But at the second to last page, I said it was the last page, second to last page is when all this happens. There's really cool paneling here where we see PEROSPERO and Jack, and it just goes down the line of their respective moments, which are similar because, you know, of the night of the day, they both do Odin one sword style, where Nekomamushi comes up and claws a shockwave through PEROSPERO, disintegrates his candy arm, knocks his hat off, tongues flying. Beautiful, beautiful panel here, if you ask me what my opinion is. And then we also get Inuarashi piercing Jack with a shockwave similar with his sword peg leg, so that hits him right in the gut as he's back to his non-centaur form. I don't understand Jack. But we see the final defeated panels where the eldest son of the Charlotte family, PEROSPERO, is defeated, and as well as Jack, a high commander of Kaido's army, defeated. So they're both defeated, and that is the last page of this crazy chapter. And then we get Orochi. He's back. Back again. Guess who's back? He has no friends. He's peeking out from some second story door window thing as Jack was defeated, and he's like, oh, Jack was defeated, and that's not my problem anymore. I assume that's not going to happen in the next chapter, but just the reminder that Orochi is out there somewhere. He hasn't been forgotten about as much as I try. So he's up to whatever. I'm hoping my thoughts about Orochi real quick are that Hiyori was the one who helped the Scabbards earlier in this arc. She was the silhouette, it wasn't Toki, and so I think with Hiyori here, either she or Momo, maybe both of them, because Hiyori has Momo's sword, and then maybe Hiyori with a different sword since Zoro has Enma, of course. They'll both have a moment where they fight Orochi. Oh, that's kind of cute. It's a little weird, but it's really cute how Hiyori looks so much like Toki, and Momo, if he goes human form, looks so much like Odin. That would be a really cool panel. A cool scene where Momo and Hiyori both like do the finishing blow with swords against Orochi, and like Orochi has flashback to Toki and Odin, since they look so similar now, because now Momo's the correct age. He's now the proper older brother of Hiyori. So they look like Odin and Toki. That's so cute. Oh, that would be really cool. Maybe both of them will have the shot at Orochi. I think that would be really poetic and beautiful, because as much as Zoro, it would be cool if he cut Orochi, Orochi's below him. Like, if it comes to Orochi versus Zoro, it's gonna be just kind of an offhanded like, oh, you're here? Bye. Dead. Zoro could look at Orochi and he would die. So I think Zoro has his hands full with King, and I think that Momo and Hiyori should do. That's my new theory. I just came up with, you heard it here, folks. That's my new theory. They get a Toki and Odin with Momo and Hiyori. Full circle ending to defeating the Shogun of Wano. But yeah, this was great. This was a great chapter with the splitting the sky thing. I mean, like I said, I really thought that that was going to be a much later game thing, but I mean, shit, we're in the end game. We are in the end game here, so it was just a matter of time that we get this amazing, amazing look at Luffy having the capacity, the strength, the determination, the power to split the sky with another emperor. Luffy is an emperor. Also, I mentioned in my reaction that I was thinking that the splitting of the sky, not only will it help Nekomamushi and Inuarashi, but this might also indicate to the flower capital that Onigashima is coming, because it was obscured by the clouds in the sky. So with this whole thing going on, like, they hopefully will be noticing the giant flying island with a skull on top of it by now that the skies are clear and the clouds are going crazy. Someone has to look up, right? So maybe we'll get that next chapter with the flower capital finally responding to Onigashima coming towards them, and Momo will have to figure something out. I don't know if he can control his powers that well. He can barely fly, but hopefully his determination and, you know, his will to figure out what to do will be enough, because I really don't know how Momo will be able to do this, but I want him to. That's the end result. So I think there's a lot still coming up. This was certainly a momentous chapter with between the sky splitting, Luffy coming back at Kaido and fighting him for the last time, and he's going to win, so I don't know how long that's going to be, how long that fight's going to go on, if we're going to get... Usually the pattern is we'll get some Zoro and Sanji fights, because those are really the last ones now. We still have Raizo and Fukurokuju, but besides that, we don't really know what Denjiro's been doing. We still have Izo and Kawamatsu, so maybe they'll all kind of gather together and do something with that, but yeah, overall, it was a great chapter and definitely a turning point in the war. Now that Luffy is back, he's helping Momo, and Momo's going to save the Flower Capital, and Luffy's gonna defeat Kaido. And he's splitting the sky. Did I mention that he split the sky? I don't know how many different ways that I could say, holy crap, but he split the sky. So that concludes my review of One Piece 1026. Man, but we are going strong with this war. Things are getting done. Shit's going down. And crazy stuff is still yet to happen as we come towards the end of the raid at Onigashima. So yes, like I said earlier, I stream on Twitch. I do my chapter reactions at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, different from what I used to do them at noon, but now I do it 7 a.m. So go follow me on Twitch. Every Friday that there's a chapter, I'll be streaming my reaction over there, so follow me over there. I also game every now and then, but I love talking about One Piece. Always talking about One Piece, really. Also Twitter for more One Piece content, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Give it a like and comment below I would say what your favorite part is, and you know, if it's not the sky splitting, or besides the sky splitting, and man, this whole chapter was just great, isn't it? Wasn't it? Besides the sky splitting, I'd have to say that my favorite part of this chapter was just that Momo and Luffy dynamic, of Luffy shouting up to him like, "You just bit an emperor! Is there really something you're still scared of?" And Momo's like, no. So it was really cute, and I love their dynamic together, so that was my favorite part. Let me know what your favorite part was, and leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. It means a lot. We're on our way to 1,000. We just hit 700 like I said earlier, so thank you so much for all the new subscribers. I appreciate it. So yeah, that concludes my review. So stick around for next week for another chapter for 1027 of One Piece, and we'll see what Oda has in store for us next. So in the meantime, have a great day, follow your dreams, and check me next time. Bye!